This one I think is probably for you, Anne, just to kick us off. What are the key problems with teacher training now, and how will the new teacher training qualifications make a difference? I assume that question is about, in a sense, about predicting what might be coming as well as what we actually do have. And how will the new teacher qualifications make a difference, and could they make a difference?
I think the lack of regulations is an issue at the moment, because it's not mandatory for anybody to take a qualification. We're putting the onus on the employers. So I think a key problem is, will the employer make the right decision? Will the organisation say, yes, we want a qualified workforce because we want to give a quality service to our learners? I think that would be my first point there. I think another problem is the confusion that's out there regarding the qualifications currently available. Because we're running at the moment, we've still got what we call the petals, kettles, dettles, and we've got the new awards, certificates and diploma coming in. We're not only confused ourselves, but learners seeing advertisements are thinking, well, which qualification should we go for? I get endless emails from learners saying, well, I'm going to take my petals, but what's this award? And it's difficult just to say to them, well, it's basically the same thing. So there's confusion for us all. The levels, the new qualifications are level 3, 4 and 5. Which level should we offer? Which level would a learner want to take? Also, what impositions are put on us by other organisations, for example, our awarding organisation or our own institution? What additional requirements, like I mentioned earlier, are we going to have to use the Ofsted grading criteria when we're observing our trainee teachers, which you may or may not agree with? Just general confusion, I feel, as well, and with the fact that the professional standards are changing in April. What impact will they have on the current qualifications, or will it lead to more qualifications? But personally, I think the new award, certificate and diploma will simplify the way we as teacher educators do our delivery and assessment. Will simplify the way people interpret and understand the qualification requirements, but then we've still got the difficulty of the diploma being the same content as the CertEd and the PGCE.
Comments, questions?
Okay, my name is Mary Kitchener, I'm from Swindon College. I was led to believe months ago that with the new RAFTA qualifications that they're not allowed to be nested, so that at the moment if you have petals you can have accreditation for prior learning onto the diploma, and that's now not allowed. But then I was talking to some colleagues a week ago in Taunton, and they were saying, well, actually, you should be able to do that. And also, I don't understand, there will be repetition still, because you're still going to have to know how to plan and deliver a session during the award, as you would do at the start of the diploma. So I was wondering if any of the panel or yourself, Anne, could just qualify exactly where we are on that matter.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. There is no nesting in the new qualification suite. However, the first unit in the award, Understanding Roles, Responsibilities and Relationships, is also the first unit in the certificate. And 4 units in the certificate can be as an equivalent to one of the units in the diploma. So there is options there to do that. The nesting was taken away, which I feel is a shame. However, it was taken away for one of the reasons that the duplication was there. If somebody had done the petals and then they went on to kettles or dettles, they were more or less forced to repeat what they'd done already because they were signed up for a full certificate or a full diploma, and the institution wanted to put them through everything. And so they were taken away so that somebody can just go and take a qualification. However, if they have achieved something already, they will be given accreditation for that. It's very confusing at the moment, but if somebody has achieved the current petals and then goes on to the new certificate, then an aspect of the petals will be counted towards the new certificate or the diploma.
And is that the same with the diploma? So I can do APL for them, thinking in the diploma like I'm doing at the moment?
If it's something that's accepted, and of course we've got the rules of combination which determine levels as well as credits. So it's just a case of having a look at the mapping documents and what is and isn't accepted.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments? Yeah, sorry, because I don't know people's names. I'm going to have to do a Dimbleby thing as well. The woman in the hoops, the woman in the hoops top.
Thank you.
Isn't that how he does it?
My name is Emma. I teach on teacher training at Guildford College. So is it going to lengthen the process? So obviously primarily we have students that for one reason or another have taken the petals, then maybe they achieve a job and we we APL them for the first 3 months of the DETLS course. But is that going to mean that now, because the level 3 is not nested, that may or may not count for some of it, so the process will be lengthened for them?
One word, possibly.
Yeah.
Jonathan or Matt, do you know anything about that? No.
I would say to some degree it'll depend on what the institution requires. I mean, if it's the case that senior management teams embark on a race to the bottom and assume that only a minimal level of qualification is desirable, it may be the case that the time spent delivering a teaching education curriculum will get significantly shorter rather than longer.
Yeah.
Hi, Karen Robson, Bolton College. We offer teacher training with a partnership of the University of Bolton, and we've done that historically for a number of years. This year I looked into maybe changing and using awarding bodies to offer the qualification, simply because the university's fees are going up, so that, part-time over 2 years it's costing £6,000–7,000. It was felt at our college, we did some research, and we could undercut the universities if we used an awarding body. Then looking at that over the summer, and Biz announced that they weren't sure if there was going to be funding available in the form of a tuition fee loan. It was then decided that they couldn't offer a tuition fee loan if it wasn't a qualification from an HEI. So my question is, where does the future lie for teacher training? Is it in FE colleges where there's no tuition fee loan available using an awarding body, or do we stick with universities and have students paying anywhere from £8,000–9,000, or can we undercut them and they're paying £3,000 for a 2-year course?
Matt, do you want to?
Yeah, I'm happy to respond to that. I think as a university, we seem to be bucking the trend nationally in terms of our partnership. We're growing our partnership as opposed to reducing it, which is happening in a lot of HEI partnerships. I'm surprised by the figure that you've quoted there. That seems to me quite high. I'm not trying to promote University of Wolverhampton here at all. but ours is closer to 5,000 over a 2-year period. And we had a meeting with a new college just on Tuesday, in fact, who interestingly was partnered with another university who took a strategic decision to sever their partnership, franchise partnerships. And as a result of that, this particular college went down the awarding body route for 1 year. Now, I don't know how reflective their experience is, the sector as a whole, but the short version of this story is that they didn't find that the awarding body route was particularly conducive to the needs that they had, or in fact the people who were studying on their programme. So they approached us with a view to redeveloping a HEI-based programme. I think one of the things which we're very conscious of when it comes to partnership is, what do you actually mean by the word partnership? I mean, for us, partnership is we interpret that in a very literal sense. It means an equitable relationship between the two organisations. It means an ethical relationship, and that's one where it's not a university coming in and seeing a college programme as an opportunity to make money, but also, particularly considering the current climate, it's about sticking with your partners through thick and thin. And we have a number of partner colleges as part of our wider partnership who have been graded inadequate by Ofsted. Now, I know that in other HEI partnerships, those colleges have been released from the partnership because they seem to be sort of affecting adversely the wider image of that university. That's not something that we would agree with at all. I mean, for us it's about developing an understanding and a relationship with people working in colleges, and also about developing that capacity. So we have this reciprocal relationship with people in colleges. We see them as our colleagues because we teach together on these programmes, which we often do.
Jonathan, do you want to add anything to that?
I'd just say something quick. I mean, from the point of view of having worked across 2 different FE and HE partnerships, and also having done research in 2 others, and spoken to a lot of teacher educators who work on both franchise university programmes and different programmes from awarding bodies, the headline it would be that working with a university, if you like, if you pardon the oversimplification, is a more professionally satisfying experience, and also one that would appear to be more academically satisfying for the students. So in that sense, I would say, if you can find a way of making the numbers fit, I would think you're probably better off with the university than you are with an awarding body. And that's not just because the awarding bodies seem to impose so much paperwork in the way that HEIs don't.
Does anybody in the room have a positive experience of working with an awarding body to get the opposite argument?
of Cornell Enfield Centre. I have been running the teacher training programs at all levels at Cornell Enfield Centre, which I established myself 10 years ago. And I chose, at the time I was involved with the Institute as well, but I chose to stick to City and Guilds as the awarding body. And although I agree with the fact that the awarding body's qualifications generate a lot more paperwork and perhaps more comprehensively covered in terms of the assessments, nevertheless I do think that they prepare the teachers who are teaching in the community together with sufficient mentoring, which I'm afraid lacks at university programs. And also university programs are very limiting, which is why I did not choose to go with a university. They don't allow the trainers to bring their own experiences. I'm a human resources person, I'm a qualified trainer, and I have brought a lot of innovative ideas to the teacher training programs in terms of mentoring my trainees and taking my own experience of working with graduates at graduate recruitment centres into teacher training and developing career development as part of the teacher training programs. So I do think that awarding bodies give that kind of autonomy, and if your external verifier trusts you and you have direct certification, you can actually succeed substantially in that area.
Okay, shall we take one more on this and then I'll move on, but if you have comments, come in at another point, but given that there's a whole lot of questions, we'll take one more. So could we take one more from the back?
It's a bit daunting. My name's Gilly and I'm from Canterbury College. We were partnered with Christchurch University, which was brilliant, but funding being a key issue, we did move to an awarding body. We've now moved to another one. And actually, I found the opposite, that there was so much paperwork, it was so cumbersome, students had to generate so much evidence that actually it was restrictive. With the university